Okay. Okay, mic test 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you can hear me on that mic test. Let me know.
So just less than a minute to go now until the market on open imbalance. So we're looking now to the market on open imbalance. S&P 500, 285 million to the buy side. Nasdaq 100, 25 million to the sell side. Dow 30, 10 million to the buy side. Mag 7, 15 million to the sell side.
Okay, let me know. Let me know if you're testing 1 2 1 2. Are you able to hear me? It's very important. Okay, I apologize for being a minute late. Let me see if I can fix my webcam real quick. Okay, looks like we're going. All right, you all can hear me? So let's get cracking. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus ISM Manufacturing. My name is Lee Goldstein, Trading Director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember all the trades we discuss for educational purposes. I'm not a financial advisor. It is possible to lose money trading futures. All right, good morning. We are streaming. And let me just make my webcam not so big so it fits. Hopefully people can see it. All right, let's talk about ISM Manufacturing. So first things first, it's a family money trade because it's really been behaving very, very well. This report, I did a lot of testing. Usually I don't test when a report is month after month really trading well, but I was just curious just to see how the gold breakouts were testing. Not, I can watch the videos and see how they're trading. Obviously, that's the most important thing, is the real trading. But I like to sometimes just run a test to practice trading the event. And that's something I do recommend that people do. That's why playback is so important, because you can practice the event. It's not like Allen Iverson said, it's just practice. No, practice is really important. So definitely keep that in mind. You want to learn playback
In 10
so
minutes
you can
time now at
practice
9:45 a.m. Eastern
and be
Time, we get
prepared
the
for the
US
way an
S&P
event is going
Manufacturing
to behave.
PMI June final read.
So ISM
Forecast 51.7
Manufacturing
on the prior 51.7,
has
range
one
of
setup. It's got a
51.8 to
gold stop.
51.7.
Interestingly, I'm going to trade an ES trap trade in my Buell Knox account because we've tested an ES trap trade and it's fabulous. It's really a good setup, but you have to be a little bit aggressive on the setup. So we don't have a DMM for it. It's not there yet. It hasn't passed muster, but it really tests nicely. So I'm just going to quickly set up an ES trap trade, and I'm going to set it up on ISM Manufacturing. And I believe I saved my templates. Let me see if it's here. And here's how I'm going to trade it. The time of the event, if you're using the new software, is 9:59:55. If you're using the new software, JOBB version 11 and the trap trade, we've updated the time so you don't have to do prep seconds, which is 5 seconds, by the way. And the time of the event is 10 o'clock. That's for version 10. Eventually, we do want everybody on the new software, but you don't have to. And if you don't want to, just remember with a trap trade, previous versions to 11 will do prep seconds. It's 5 seconds on this report on a trap trade, and the time of the event is exact, 10 o'clock. If you're using version 11, trigger your time of event, 9:59:55. I'm trading it in Buell Knox. My tiers, 22 and 40, and my stop is 20 ticks. And that's how I'm trading the trap trade in my prop account. So I'm going to put my charts on prop, click the ES. So I'm ready to go on my Buell Knox account. And now let's spend the bulk of the time talking about the ISM breakout. Okay. The ISM breakout is a solid setup. The testing is excellent. When you go back and just look at all the tests, it really trades very nicely. There was one difficult month on bonds, but we're not doing bonds anymore on this report. We're sticking with gold. Of course, there's risk in everything you do when you trade, but gold's been responding very nicely on this report. It's a breakout, and we're going to trigger at 959.59. Our bracket is 12, and your targets can be anywhere from 10, I would say 10 to 50. Keeping in mind that, if you use that big second target, you may have to manage your way out of the trade, okay? Because if you notice in May, it only went approximately 47 ticks, making our target 2 a little big. But we've had over 90 ticks, twice in the past 6 months. So there's value in having a bigger target if you want to. There's nothing wrong with the setup as it is, 10 and 30 on your targets. Keep in mind you don't have to use the exact targets that are on the report, but we do like entry time, bracket, and stops. We like to think that those values are pretty firm and very important, okay? If you're an expert, your own setups are your own. You can obviously, everyone can do whatever they want in trading, but for people that are just
Fed's Williams
beginning,
says, I am confident the
targets are
Fed is on the
not in
path to getting
stone.
inflation back to
Brackets,
2%.
time, and stops, we feel we do significant amounts of testing, and those are the really important numbers. But trading is fluid. Everybody knows that trading is fluid, okay? It's just the way it is. So you don't have to match my targets, okay? You don't have to match my targets. In terms
At
of trade
9:45
management,
a.m. Eastern Time, we get US
I
S&P
like to
Manufacturing
use the
PMI
market
final
one stop
forecast
move, and I like to
51.7 on the prior
move my
51.7
stop to
with a range
safety
of
if my first target
51.8 to
gets hit. Now,
51.7.
there is a 9:45 event that we watch. Okay, it's an early trade. Okay, there's an early trade, and it's called final manufacturing. There's also one tomorrow, not tomorrow, but when we have ISM services, there's also a 9:45 event called final services. We've tried to find really good setups for those early trades. Occasionally they work great, but they've been historically inconsistent. I just watch them. I'd rather just concentrate on ISM. So again, it's a breakout. We're triggering at 9:59.59 Eastern Time. The bracket is 12. The stop is 20. And then targets can be, literally, they could be anywhere between 8 and whatever you like as your second target. Understanding that if you look at the DMM, you can see how big some of the moves were. So I wouldn't do a 200 tick target on target 2. That wouldn't make logical sense. Okay. And I'm going to save my template. Just a heads up for everyone. There are updated program files for the software on the website and on the installation file document, the PDF. It's important that if you are installing the new software, you should update to the newest version of NinjaTrader. It's free, it's on their website. And we have updated files for the software. There's a few people had an installation issue, and it's like sometimes it's like finding a needle in a haystack. I really got to hand it to the programmer. Everyone always blames us if they have a problem installing new software when the software comes out. And sometimes it is us. But very often when you have years of software being updated, the way NinjaTrader is being updated over and over, things just start to break down a little bit in terms of files get corrupted or values get changed. And that's why you do want to update to the most recent versions of the software. They're very good about being solid when they release an update. So, and also make sure that you uninstall the software first if you have it installed, and always reboot your NinjaTrader platform after you do a software import. Okay. Anybody have any issues, just send an email to help@eminenttrades.com. We've helped pretty much everyone through any issues. All right, a breakout trade for ISM 950, 959 bracket.
1 minute remaining.
Targets anywhere between 8 and 60-ish. I would probably do somewhere between 8 and 40. And then the stop is 20. Don't forget to label your trade. Okay, especially because I have two setups. I need them to have differentiation. And I want to look at my bracket width, but we also want to watch that 945 event because we can.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Okay, good breakout size.
10 seconds.
Put our time on. Here comes that other event. I've seen pretty good moves.
51 spot 6, 51 spot 6, lower than forecast, 51 spot 7.
And the two reports are not related. Very, very, very close to what was expected. Might not see that big of an impact from it because of that. Okay. 51.6 versus 51.7. That's almost the same in the offset. Okay. It's not a big, certainly not a very big offset at all. And probably, like I said, we probably won't see much movement because of that. And again, it does not honestly have a bearing on our trade. Okay. So we've got our trap going on the right. We've got our breakout on the left. I tested my brackets. We're going to check our time
Order
sync,
submitted.
right?
Order canceled.
Everybody check your time sync. I'll show you how to do it. 9:59:59 on the trigger. Trading in our regular cash account. We've labeled the trade, apply it and okay it. Triple check your time, okay it. Charts go on live. Okay. So we're ready to go. Let's look at last month.
Shortly expecting the Bank of England Gilt sale results for the week. We've also posted out the S&P Manufacturing PMI June final reports on the feed for anybody interested. The key findings note that there's solid expansion in staffing levels, and new orders rising while production growth softens, and the weakest increase in selling prices seen this year so far. Chris Williamson, who's the chief economist at S&P, says the PMI shows the US manufacturers struggling to achieve strong production growth for the month of June, hamstrung by weak demand from domestic and export markets alike.
If you're not in sync, we do have files, free syncing files in the room drive folder. That's the taskbar of the trade room. The trade room has a taskbar at the top, just like we have a taskbar on our software and on our charts. Our software puts a break even button on the taskbar, BE, and it puts a combine button. The combine button is if you have multiple orders open and you want to combine them, the combine button to make it easier to exit a trade or just to move your orders together. The combine button will combine open orders to the nearest order to current price. Now, let's take a look at what happened.
Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room.
Going too far. So we're looking.
And I'm just telling you the news that's going on in the world. The regular news.
We'll see our previous move.
It hit the first. All right, a great way to start the week. Okay. Watching the ES turning off my breakout.
And then we have May 1st. May 1st, I'm not going to show you because it traded with jolts. One of the issues as of late is that quite a few reports are trading with other reports. So if something trades with a big other report, then there's contamination, and it almost doesn't pay to count that result in the results because it's not the same event. If Jolts trades with most other
time now at the
reports,
top of the
Jolts is
hour, we
pretty
see the release
major
of the
these
US
days.
ISM Manufacturing
So it
PMI for the month of June. Forecast 49.1 on the
We
prior
do our
48.7.
keep it
The
in
range
mind,
is 50
but it
to
does make it a little bit
48.2.
trickier.
For the prices
have
paid,
perfect
forecast is
setups
55.8
because
on the
you
prior
really do
57.
need a
The
setup
employment
with and
index
without
forecast
Jolts.
50 on the prior
The
51.1.
reason I
And new orders
use a
forecast
30-second
49
chart
on the
these
prior
days
45.4.
is because I like
With this, we
looking
also
at
see the US
squeeze,
construction spending month over month for May,
the indicator at the
forecast
bottom of my chart,
0.2% on the prior minus 0.1%.
and the squeeze.
Also seeing the
I
results
like
of the
the way
Bank
it
of
works
England
on a
gilt sale
30-second.
results. Bank of England sells
Gold
£650
had
million
quite the
of
move
bonds in auction
in
after receiving
February, and it
£1.07
was
billion
actually
in bids,
quite a
with an
large
APF
move. It
gilt
was a
sale
little bit
operation cover
early
ratio of
also.
1.64.
Started a little bit early. And we have been doing this ES trap trade. It's not like it's a brand new setup. We've traded it. So I've got my ES trap on my right-hand chart for Buell Knox, gold breakout. And let me just show you very quickly ISM Manufacturing. Just some quick replays of the monthly data, whether or not it traded with a big report or not. Just to give you an idea, ISM, whether it trades alone
Oil
or
futures
whether it's
extend
been
gains
trading
with
bigger
Brent up by
reports,
$1 a
it's been
barrel.
moving well. It's just the reality. It's been moving well. That was a big burst in March. April. Here it comes. April's going to burst. Short move. Nice sized move also. Then we have May. Another big burst. And we just looked at June. So there's very, very good potential in the size of the move for this report. All right. So everybody's checked. Everybody has checked their time sync. I do want to thank everyone who's watching on YouTube. Hit the like button if you'd like to. Anybody watching on YouTube, type me a message. I want to see if I see it. And everybody, why not join our YouTube channel? Here's the link. Don't do it now because we're getting ready. But join our YouTube channel, subscribe. We put some nice content up there, and we're going to do more and more as time goes on. And then don't forget our sales going on. This is a great time to join. These dogs, I can't begin to tell you how crazy my daughter's dogs are. I just can't even think about it. I forgot he was here. He kept me up all night last night, and he's such a rat. This dog is such a dirty little rat. And there's another dog, totally mentally ill, off the roof, off the wall, just impossible. But that's what parents do. So trap trade is going to take place on this chart, and then our breakout on gold is going to be on the left chart. We still have a few minutes. Let's go back just for the fun to October and see what happened in October on this report. ISM is one of those reports that from the day that I got here, it's been one of the reports that we've always traded.
Plate.
It used to be a prime trade. It's always had good opportunity. So it was called a prime trade.
In 5 minutes time now, at the top of the hour, we see the release of the US ISM Manufacturing PMI for the month of June. Forecast 49.1 on the prior 48.7.
There's our brackets.
Then the
We're seeing
pandemic
comments from Williams now, says amid uncertainty,
combining
the Fed
my
should be clear on
orders.
its goals.
Changed so much about the way news.
So we also get the US ISM manufacturing
October.
prices paid at the top of the hour.
I wish I could say this is going to not stop us out, but
the employment index.
you could tell almost
on the prior
immediately that
51.1.
trade was
New
not going to
orders
work.
index forecast
I
49
mean, the
on the prior
problem
45.4.
is mixed
And with
news.
this data, we get the US construction spending month over month for May, forecast 0.2% on the prior minus 0.1%.
All these different things, but I'm putting on my chart a reversal continuation on gold with a target of 20 ticks and a stop of 20 ticks. If by some reason, I mean, I have a trap trade, I've got a breakout trade, I'm not really living under the illusion I can do all these different things. I'm going to label it reversal, but you never know. Sometimes you might get an opportunity that you didn't expect. If you enable a reversal trade, it gives you your buttons, instant long, instant short. And those reversal setups are good if you don't want to trade the exact moment of the news. You can trade after. If that's what you prefer, not everybody likes to trade at the exact moment of the news. All you need to set up a reversal continuation trade is one position, one target, and a stop. You don't have to do anything with time, nothing. So you just set up reversal continuation, or it's called reversal in version 10. And then pick a target, a stop, and then how many contracts, and that's it. And then when you enable it, you get your button. So you could watch the charts, right? You could say to yourself, wow, if gold gets to the VWAP, maybe I'll go long. Also, depending on the news result. All right. The important numbers, the manufacturing, 49, 49.2 actually is the important number. 55.8 on prices. All right. Last night, we were in the room for a few minutes for ISM Manufacturing. You could have made some ticks on that report. It was possible to make some ticks on that report last night. China has two manufacturing reports: manufacturing, non-manufacturing PMI, and ISM. Usually they're a day apart. Sometimes they release them the same day, 15 minutes apart, which is really unusual, but it happens. And then occasionally they release one of them, or sometimes both of them, over the weekend. And they release the Chinese, the manufacturing, non-manufacturing, Saturday night. Just kind of strange, but you can never control what a country
1 minute
does. We have a
remaining.
minute.
I'll lead with the US ISM Manufacturing PMI.
So we're just watching and waiting. Gold is from 6 p.m. last night. It's not all that volatile. Doesn't mean it hasn't been volatile, however, in the time
10
between
seconds.
6 p.m. last night and now. But when you just look at the final numbers,
Order submitted.
and now we have an early move there.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled.
48
Order
spot 5,
canceled.
48 spot 5, lower than
That
forecast.
was
49
absolutely
spot 1.
insane.
Prices paid
I was
52 spot
thinking
1,
of
52 spot
canceling
1,
that
lower than
report. It
forecast.
wound up
55 spot
working
8.
perfectly.
We're also seeing new orders
It
at
was an
49
early
spot 3,
move. I'm
49 spot
still
3.
in
That
my
is higher than
trap
forecast.
trade.
49.
I'm going to
And the
turn off
employment
my
index at 49
breakout.
spot 3, 49 spot 3,
I'm
lower
going
than
to, let's
forecast.
see.
50.
Right now I'm
Construction spending at
filled
minus 0
one
spot 1%,
tier on
minus
my
0 spot
trap. I'm
1%,
moving my
lower than
orders
forecast.
up
0 spot
to the
2%.
low of the day.
We're seeing
I
some
think we
upside
should
in
get
the
a
S&P 500,
reversal.
but a weakness in the dollar
Number,
here. As you have seen
here's the
the ISM
problem in
Manufacturing
terms of
PMI
a
cool off,
trap trade
including in the
reversal.
prices paid and
Most of the
employment
news is
indexes as
negative.
well.
It could push the ES up and only up, but I still have an opportunity. I have a second tier, okay? A second tier. Because of the news, I would not look for a huge pullback. I'm a little bit concerned because so much of the news is to the downside. I take it back, folks. The news is to the downside. Let's see what happens on the ES. Let's let it play out. The ES, in theory, could go down on negative news. I'm thinking gold. Gold goes up often on negative news. Let's see if we get our reversal. Right now, I still have my second tier. It hasn't been filled. I'm not going to cancel that tier unless my first target gets hit or I feel really strongly that this reversal has taken hold. And I'm not 100% certain that that reversal has taken hold yet. Because if I cancel my outed tier, I can't really get my stop into a good place of safety. So I'm going to just watch the ES a little bit.
So
We'll
the
check
dollar
the
pairs
video.
gains against the yen after the US manufacturing data. A last up 0.2% at
We made a profit
161.23
on our
yen.
breakout, but it was
We
an
have also
early
posted out the
move
ISM
also,
Manufacturing June
and then it
report on the feed
changed
for anybody
direction. It
interested.
was a very strange report. So type in what happened on your trade if you're done trading. I think there's a potential for a magnet trade at some point. I don't know how soon it's going to be. It's a little bit far away, but we'll get there. Also, I'm trying to manage my ES trade. Now I'm going to cancel my outer
Order
tier,
canceled.
move my stop to safety, top of the morning to you. Expand my target, see if we can get a little bit more money out of this thing. Right now, no matter what happens, I cannot lose money on my trap trade. If it continues down, I'll trail. If it pops up, it's going to take me out for a small profit. Now, one thing, we're seeing such strange things on the prop accounts on fast or unusual moving events. It's hard to believe why one person could win a fortune and another person loses money, same prop account, same data feed. It really is difficult to totally understand what's going on with the data feeds, with the prop accounts. On some of the fast trades, it might make sense to not do the breakouts. You have to decide if you think it's worth doing the breakouts, because sometimes the data feeds act squirrely on the breakouts. Now, I'm still managing this trap trade. I don't have to jump out of it yet. I expanded my target, but it's just not a phenomenal
Order
reversal.
canceled.
So there it is, okay? $1.25, a profit, trades over. 250 on our breakout. Let me see what everybody's saying. Sander, did you say you made money? So you did not make money on the breakout. And I'm just going through what people said. It was, so look, here, let's look at the video because there's something you have to really learn. Two things I'm going to do. I'm turning off my reversal. I'm putting on, while we're in the room, I don't think we're going to get a test of that high. I just don't think it's going to happen. I was going to say I was going to put on a magnet trade, but we're not going to get it. So I'm not going to bother. It's too far away. Let's look at the video and see what happened here. When you see a move like we had today on this report, where it clearly looked like it moved before the news came out, normally I would try to cancel my event, the trade. I did try to go up to the box and cancel the trade. I just had so much going on. I didn't do it. I'm putting on the magnet trade. Click on strategy, getting rid of my other setups at the moment. JOBB version 11. Sorry, magnet. Getting rid of my breakout. High of day, low of day. Proximity 10. Okay, high of day, low of day, proximity 10. Just one position. Target at 10. Stop at 15. And I'm going to do it on micros. All right. Doing it on micros. Just give me a second. It's labeled. Let's make sure that we still have the high of the day in play. We do. Okay, so I have a magnet trade set up. Let me go over the setup one more time. Percent proximity is 10. In theory, that means it's roughly 10% away from the high of the day and the low of the day. And it's calculating from the low. It's calculating from the low. And it doesn't matter. I want to tell you folks, a magnet trade is not a exact to the tick kind of trade. It's an area. A magnet trade is an area trade. Do not worry about each individual tick in the setup. It's a range. A magnet is a range trade. If you get pulled into that area of magnetism, boom, then the magnet trade can work. Brian was asking me what my fill was on gold. So hang on, I'm going to do 80 million things here. Let me see if I can tell what my fill was on gold. Easily. I don't see it there. 233,970. 233,970, Brian, it looks like. I bought 233,970. And it did not behave totally correctly because it was a really weird, I think we had some really weird movement. So what I was going to say is when you get behavior that's really strange before an event, it is appropriate to cancel the event if you can. I don't think it would have been possible for most of us to cancel. I just don't think it was possible. Let me just show you what I'm doing here. I don't think we're going to get to the magnet. I'm testing it on micros. I'm putting on 2 positions. If it gets to 10%, I'm going to go for a 12-tick target, and I'm going to use a 20-tick stop. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Let's see what happens. I'm doing it in my live account. I don't think we're getting there, but while we're talking, we can put that on. Our entry would be 46.70 in this area, 46.70. Far and pretty far away from the magnet. It's not a great magnet because there's not good movement. Okay, I would not normally do this. I'm just testing to see if it happens. All right, let's look at the video and I'll explain what I meant about this. Was an extremely difficult event because it moved early. Sometimes it looks like it's early and it's exactly at the time of the news, but you know from experience that it's not the main move. I don't know how to explain it other than I saw gold moving down on this report and I knew it wasn't the right move. And one of the negatives of trading multiple setups is you don't have time to do things properly. If you're watching just one setup, why not reverse that? We had the reversal set up, but I had 3 different setups. So I think sometimes we don't do ourselves a favor. Now, I should have done the magnet on the ES. Obviously, it's testing the low. We're going to have some magnet sessions. So let's look at this video. Let me know if you're going to add testing 1 2 1 2 after the fact. Are you able to hear me on YouTube? This is what we do, folks. We go through a whole process trying to figure out everything that happened. For being a minute late. Why some people. Let me see if I can fix my webcam real quick. But what I noticed. Let's go to the time of the event. So
doesn't mean it hasn't been volatile, however, in the time between 6 p.m. last night and now. But when you just look at the final numbers. 5 seconds. 5 seconds before the news. Do you see that move? That is a proper cancellation warning. It's as if the news was released to the market early. It probably wasn't because ultimately.
As it is noted in the S&P 500, making a leg down now. It's down 0.3%.
The data was quite negative. Okay. If you see an outsized anomaly type move before an event and you have time to cancel it, I would cancel it. I know that I say in the room that we don't cancel a lot of trades, but that was not normal. Now we have an early move there. And it makes it very difficult to then get a normal move. I think that was absolutely insane. A very normal move. I was thinking of canceling that report. I am surprised. It wound up working perfectly. Somebody lost money. It was an early move. I'm still in my trap trade. I'm going to turn off my breakout. It looked like a great move. I'm turning off the magnet because I want to spend the time, just let's go to a one range chart on gold. You go to the time of the event. I want to see if my orders are showing up on the chart or not. For some reason this morning, I don't see my orders. Okay, so this was 9:59. This was the early move. Notice it's not just one direction. It's nanoseconds. That's nanoseconds. It looked like on the 1 minute, on the 30-second chart, that everything started moving 5 seconds before the news. This right here is 5 seconds before the news. Right here, right there. It started going down big time. But notice there's not just with the naked eye, there's also upward movement as well. This is pretty much every single tick. Then there was a pretty big retracement. But still, now our orders are on the chart. Our orders were not on the chart for all of that movement. Our orders would not have been on the chart until 59, which is right about here. So I understand why people could have lost. They could have been filled short because the move wasn't over. At 10 o'clock, it then moved up. I was lucky in that my orders did not hit the chart until after the move started to the upside. So I would think maybe if you lost money, did you get filled short? Is that what happened? But I got filled in the correct direction, which would have been long, and it hit a target. It hit a target. Now, so I'm looking to see. So, Sander, you did get filled long. I think there was just a lot of up and down movement. You got filled too high on the candle. So you got filled at 23.42. And what did I say? I got filled 23.39. I mean, so Sander, that's like almost more than $2. Almost $2. So I think I'm just concerned about why your fill is so off from mine. $2 is really significant in the fill. So I don't know if it's an issue of machine or speed or your internet. We know is certainly very fast. Whether or not maybe you can test a free BPS. I know of one that has a trial. Speedy Trading Servers. They have a 7-day trial. You can try for free. See if a VPS gives you better fills. Maybe that's part of the issue of what's been going on with some of the trades that haven't filled also. But Alan had the same problem. All right. So if more than one person has the same problem, then it's not you. It's not you. So I'm seeing that other people had the same difficult fills. So it's just then it becomes a question of the market burst and just not being able to catch the best fill. And this was the move after
Looking
the
now
news
to the
was
fear and
out,
greed
it
index,
looked like it was
48 out of
all
100,
up
which indicates
only,
neutral,
but it
while the
wasn't.
crypto fear and greed index is 53 out of 100, indicating a neutral as well. And so keeping an eye on the VIX at the moment as well, just seeing a spike up as volatility has
All right.
increased,
I
up
do
around
want to
5%
thank
at
everybody for
13
watching on
points.
YouTube. I'm going to close down our YouTube stream, everybody, but I'm not closing the trade room. Thanks, everybody, for watching on YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you know the next time we're streaming, and we'll see you